that I want everybody here to pay very close attention to, and pay close attention and listen to and benefit from some of his life experiences that we all can learn from. So I'm very happy and very honored today to introduce Mr. Albert Purdue.
I want to thank you, Mr. Senator. It's an honor to be here. I'm going to start now the way I have it prepared, because I don't know how I can do any other way. Good morning. Let me introduce myself. My name is Albert Purdue. All my friends call me Al, and of course you're all my new friends, and you can all call me Al also.
Excuse me, Al. You have more microphone.
It's not on? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It is wonderful to see you beautiful young adults here this morning. I'm going to take my hat off. That's a sort of a silly hat, but I like to wear it. It is good. All you future teachers, scientists, artists, doctors, trumpet players, plumbers, computer problem solvers, welcome. I'll learn how to do this correctly as I go along. It is an honor to be here addressing you this morning. How to respect our great, beautiful American flag will be what we will be learning about today. Let me tell you something about myself. I was a clerk in the Lakewood, New Jersey Post Office for close to 30 years. World War II, I was a sailor aboard a large aircraft carrier called the USS Bunker Hill CV-17. This is a picture of it, and you see how small the people look? That's how big it was. In New York, there's a ship, a sister ship, called the Intrepid. If ever you have the occasion, go to see the Intrepid. Because of my naval combat experience, there is a strong emotion of what Old Glory, our flag, means and represents. Old Glory will always represent the way to remember those who are our real heroes, Old Glory. Those who were taken from us. I am here today because it is necessary to bring to your attention information on Old Glory, our flag. Did you know flag etiquette? As years pass, I noticed that many people do not respect our flag as they should. An example. When the flag passes in a parade, stand in respect. Hold your hat in your right hand and bring your hat to your left shoulder, like this, to your left shoulder, and hand flat on your heart, just like this. When the flag is displayed flat, the Union, which is the star section, should be on the upper left, just like it is up there. Here are some special flag procedures you should know. Half-mast honoring the death of a very special person. The procedure: raise the flag to the top of the pole, then bring it to half-mast and secure the ropes. Unfolding the flag. This procedure is done daily at military bases. When complete, it looks like this. I'm retiring a torn old flag. One flag at a time is placed in a controlled fire. No lighter fluid or kerosene is permitted to start the fire. If you know of a torn old flag, call the American Legion, the VFW, the JWV, the Catholic War Veterans, the Boy Scouts. They will dispose of the flag honorably and properly. Now I'm going to tell you some flag facts. All the history and facts about Old Glory goes back 234 years ago, 1776. It involves General George Washington, our first president, and a few others. All information and history of the period in 1776 revolved around the dominance of the King of England over our young country. The King controlled our very existence with an iron hand. He was not too well liked. People living in those times hardly had much to say on their everyday life. They all were angry and created groups to help themselves. This led to the creation of flags that represented their groups and purposes. The flag is made up of the Union, that's the blue field with the white stars, and one star for each of our 50 states. 7 red and 6 white stripes for the original 13 colonies. The staff is the pole the flag is mounted to. George Washington proclaimed the white stripes symbolize liberty, freedom, and the serenity of the nation. The red stripes represent the blood spilled by Americans who made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom. The royal blue field, the Union, represents freedom and justice. Stars and Stripes was born June 14, 1777, 233 years ago. In that time in the history of our young country, it was basic to have 6, 7, and 8 points on stars of the flag. No two flags were the same. This is the John Hooper flag. It has 6 pointed stars, 13 altogether. John Hooper fought against the British. This is the Alliance flag. It it has 14 stars that have 8 points. The Alliance flag has 7 white and 6 red stripes. Note the white stripes on the top and bottom. This flag was named after a new ship called the Alliance. This is the Easton flag. It was named in honor of Easton, Pennsylvania. The Liberty Bell was hidden there. If you never saw a flag before, they didn't say where to put the stripes. There it was, 13 stripes and 13 stars on a blue field. Here we have the Betsy Ross flag. The legend of Betsy Ross lives on, that hers was the first flag. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to the Star-Spangled Banner flag. It's our national anthem. It had 15 stripes and 15 stars. They took in 2 more states. It hangs in the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. Freedom. Freedom, it's mentioned many, many times. Do you know what freedom means? You have the choice to worship in a church or synagogue of your choice, that no police will stop you, being free to go anywhere. Now, this is not true in some countries where they stop you. It is the most changed flag in the world. Old Glory has been amended 27 times. It is dynamic and alive. Ours was the first to be termed a national flag. Prior to this, only kings, governments, and armies had flags. Our flag belongs to the people, not the government. Our flag is important to us all. Old Glory symbolizes who and what it represents. It deserves respect and dignity. Many sacrifices were made to keep our flag flying. For Americans, the flag is much more than a piece of cloth. We keep it in our hearts. It is the story of who we are, what we believe in, and where we are going. A story that has not yet been fully written. On July 4th, 1776, the Second Continental Congress formally adopted the Declaration of Independence, thus ending the loyalty to the King of England. This famous name, Old Glory, was coined by Captain William Driver of Salem, Massachusetts. He set sail on his voyage commanding the ship called the Charles Darwin. His friends presented him with a beautiful flag that had 24 stars. When the flag opened in the breeze, he exclaimed, "Old Glory!" He retired from Nashville, Tennessee in 1837, taking his treasured flag with him 173 years ago. When the Civil War started, everyone around Nashville recognized Captain Driver's Old Glory. Union forces captured Nashville on February 22nd, 1862, and raised the American flag. It was a small flag, and people began asking Captain Driver if Old Glory still existed. He took the flag out of hiding and went to the Capitol. Captain Driver climbed up the tower and replaced the small banner with his beloved flag. The 6th Ohio Regiment cheered and saluted. Later, they adopted the name Old Glory as their own. Captain Driver was devoted to the flag. Days to display your flag, sunrise to sunset, weather permitting, are New Year's Day, Inauguration Day, and Martin Luther King Jr. Day, Lincoln's and Washington's birthday, Easter Sunday, and Patriots Day, the National Day of Prayer, and Mother's Day, Armed Forces Day, Memorial Day, Flag Day, Independence Day, and Labor Day. The Constitution Day, Columbus Day, Navy Day, Election Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. According to the Journal of the Continental Congress, the 32-word passage states, quote, resolved that the flag of the United States be made of 13 stripes, alternate red and white. The Union have 13 white stars in a blue field, representing a new constellation. As a group of stars in the sky, there were 13 colonies. We now celebrate every June 14th as Flag Day. Call it Old Glory, the Star-Spangled Banner, Stars and Stripes. It still stands for only one thing: the United States of America. The U.S. Code created in 1942 stated that the union of the flag, you know, the blue field, shall be 48 stars. President Eisenhower Executive Order number 10834, August 25th, 1959, that the star for Hawaii be added. On July 4th, 1960, Alaska became the 50th state. In Philadelphia, 3 distinguished men approached Betsy Ross's house in May of 1776. They were appointed by the new U.S. Congress and were carrying out their commission. Betsy Ross was a 24-year-old widow and operated an upholstery shop in her home. The 3 distinguished men were General George Washington, Robert Morris, a wealthy businessman who financed the American Revolution, and Colonel George Ross, Betsy's relative. They requested her to sew the flag for the nation. A sketch was offered of the Stars and Stripes, featuring 6 pointed stars laid upon a blue field. She stated that 5 points would be less trouble. this point, I'm sorry, at this point, I'm gonna do a little magic about the flag and about the stars and things like that. I'm gonna take this plain sheet of paper, and with a little magic, I'm gonna create something wonderful. First, I'm gonna fold it in half. Now it's nice and warm. Now I'm gonna fold it in half just to get a fold on that part. And there you are, folded in half. Now I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna fold it in half one more time. So it's like, it's not quite square, it looks like an oblong. I'm gonna take this point here, I'm gonna take this point and put it on that fold, that second fold. I'm gonna put it right on there. I don't think you guys in the back can see it, but it's right on the fold, right in the middle. Now we have a funny looking shape. That's that sort of an angle. I'm going to take this part here, fold it back until it's even with this side. Now what strange thing we have here. What are we doing something like that? We're going to take that whole half and fold it down. Now we're getting pretty close to what we're going to do. Now we have this little extra left over. We got to do something with it. So I think we're going to fold it back down till it's even on that side. So now, what do you have? You have just a little thing that looks like a V, letter V. Now with the pair of scissors, I'm going to do a little magic. One little snip of the scissors is all it takes. Now what do we got? Just a little bit of, don't look like one. Now watch as I do this. Just looking at me, you couldn't tell I was a magician, right? I didn't make it disappear. And now I'm going to read an appropriate poem, which is very important at this time. The name of the poem is called My Name is Old Glory by Howard Schnorrer. Howard Schnorrer happened to be a Marine. Combat Marine. Of the 7 men in his group in Guadalcanal, only 2 survived. This is his photograph, Howard Schnorrer. There's a lot of fierce fighting going on in Guadalcanal. Very unpleasant. This is the poem that Howard Schnorrer wrote. And he's from Fort Collins, Colorado, titled, My Name is Old Glory. I fly majestically over great institutes of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher. My colors a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved. And I am feared. I have fought every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, the trenches of France, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, the deserts of Africa, the cane fields of the Philippines, the rice paddies and jungles of Guam, Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, and Guadalcanal, New Britain and Kalalalu, and many more islands, and a score of places long forgotten by all but those who were with me. I was there. I led my soldiers. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired. But my soldiers cheered me, and I was proud. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on countries, on the streets of countries I have helped you set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my country. When it is by those with whom I have served in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth and stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. I have been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours. My finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used for bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly at half-mast to honor my soldiers, or when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the graveside of her fallen son, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Dear God, long I live. I want to thank you very much for listening. If I'm able to answer, are there any questions that you might like to know? Yes, sir. I think it is.
The jobs they're talking about in Nepal?
Yes, yes. I was in World War II. I was a sailor aboard a great big aircraft carrier. And that's it there. That was the Navy. That's right. I like the shirt. You have the red, white, and blue. Yeah, that's the new ones. The modern day. They're jets, aren't they? I didn't do
Part of the 810 Warthog, is that what you're talking about? Warthog.
Warthog. I've heard of it, but I'm not knowledgeable about it. You'll have to forgive me. Anyone?
There's a man who knows his military right there.
Yes.
Good job. Give him a round of applause. Before we get to any more questions, I think, if you don't mind, Mr. Purduck, Ms. McGrath and I had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Purduck before he came in today, and he did a wonderful, passionate presentation about Old Glory. And I thought it would be, and very modestly, didn't talk about himself at all, and what he did and what he did to contribute to his country. And I think for maybe to get a better understanding of why it is so important that we listen to Mr. Purduck's message about Old Glory and listen to why it's so important that we respect our flag and honor our flag. There's a lot of things that go on in the world each and every day. And we can't forget about those things that happened that came before us. Mr. Purduck spent 30 months, almost 3 years, 32 months, almost 3 years of his life, 3 years of his life in the military, back in the 40s, during World War II. 17 of those 32 months, Mr. Purdick was in combat, constantly, every day of his life, protecting what our freedoms are and what our flag stands for. Mr. Purdick was on that ship that you see a picture of, where over 400 of his friends and his shipmates sacrificed their lives in that war to make sure that we have everything that we have available to us today. So it's very important that we understand why Mr. Purdick is here and why this message of this flag is so important to all of us. And you guys were so wonderful in behaving and listening today that we really appreciate it. But I wanted to just talk about Mr. Purdick and give Mr. Purdick maybe a standing ovation because he's true American hero.
I appreciate the kind words. I never expected this. Right now, my emotions are quite high. Reading this poem, I've been doing this now for more than 3 years. And every time I read this poem, and for some reason I'd like to memorize it. I wish I knew how the mechanism of it to memorize it. The last 3 lines are very emotional for me. You all heard it, and my experience never leaves me. My experience on that ship is with me every day. I wish there was be a way that I could wipe it clean, but I can't. I did it. I'm very, very proud. Pat is a veteran also. He's a Navy veteran also. And he went in much later. I want to show you something. Do we agree this looks like a piece of wood? Yes. But it's not a piece of wood. It's a very, very special piece of wood. It's not a normal piece. This was off of the ship, the Bunker Hill. I have this piece in my house. This is part of what they call a plank. And one man that I know from North Jersey cut up the plank and gave each one of us a piece of it. And I brought it here special. It is not light. It's very heavy. This was the flight deck. This was the material that was put on the flight deck when the airplanes landed. So this, you should know, is here. In case you want to come up before you go back to the classroom, you want to see it, you're invited to see it. I want to thank you all. Anybody in any other questions? Okay, I guess there is no. And I want to, again, thank you very much for listening, and you were a wonderful, wonderful audience. Mr. City, you can be proud.